Oh, it's so beautiful up here. Such a gorgeous day. Like my new hat. It has been the most craziest time for me. And I know it has been for so many of you guys all over the world. And working out, you know, what to do next, where to go with your lives, you know, really trusting that intuition. And I, you know, am also going through it. I've kind of taken a back seat from, you know, online things purely because my life is just changing rapidly. And although I visit Elnor every now and then, I'm not out there. I'm living on the outside of my Nana's house in her sunroom, in her study. That in itself is the most huge adjustment for me. Crammed into a small little study. I don't have my own space anymore. You know, so I've compromised my own space to be in town. And that's come with so many challenges that was hard to envision before moving in. So, you know, hearing my grandmother's television on all the time, the bright lights, not having my own space, not having that freedom to do as I wish. I do to an extent, but it's not Elnor. Elnor was magic and so nice, and it still is. And you know, but Elnor, it never felt like home to me. That area just didn't. And I knew in order for me to make that change, I would have to leave and create an Elnor somewhere else. And in the meantime, help my grandmother with day-to-day life, because she's, you know, she's almost 100. She's in her mid-90s. And let me tell you, it has been such a challenge living with her, to live with an old person. Because old people, they're in a different time in their lives. They're from a different generation in their lives. And she has buried 2 husbands. She's been on her own for a very long time. And so I have kind of had to shift my way into her life, you know, without being imposing, in a very delicate, gentle way. And my grandmother, you know, is right now, she's extremely moody, stubborn, she's frustrated, she's, you know, she's like the weather. She's like 4 seasons in one day. And she has forced me into making a drastic lifestyle change in my life because I don't want to be anything like her as an old person. She lives on tin food, cooked food, unhealthy food, in front of the TV, bright lights, like I said, on 10 different types of medication. And that is her choice. And I totally accept that. That's how she wants to live. But she's not helping herself, and she whinges and complains about it. One minute, like, you know, I'll go in there in the morning and she's bright as a button, and then an hour later I'll go in and she tells me she wants to die. Like, what the hell? Oh God. So you know, so what's actually happened is I have gone 100% fruitarian. I have been fruitarian on and off throughout my life, but I've never been 100% pure fruitarian. But this time I have, it's been a week. It's been a week, and I know it's only a week. Wow. There are people that have done it that I know for 30 years, but I have made the first step. I have vowed my life to this path and to this way of life, because I know it is the most flawless and the most corrected way that humans should be eating. And I've known this, but because I've been blessed with very good health, I've never felt the need to do it 100%. I've always been great with health. And although at times I've been probably 90 and 95%, like in 2008, 2009, my grandmother's condition has shown me and confronted to me what I do not want to be as an old person. And she almost choked to death. Had I not been there last Wednesday night, she probably would have choked to death. She choked on lettuce, and she's coughing all the time because she's a bad asthmatic, coughing all the time. But then I heard her gasping, and like I just dropped everything and I raced inside, and she was purple, going purple in the face, and I'm just like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm not trained in first aid. And I just started hitting her on the back, and I'm like, what do I do? And she said, just hit me. She's half vomiting. It's coming out of her nose. I mean, imagine it. It's awful. If any of you have ever been around someone that's choked, it's dreadful. And had I not been there, she wouldn't have had the energy. She doesn't have the life force in her anymore to get up from the table and reach to the panic button that elderly people have, at least in this area, to get help, to get medical help. There's no way she would have had it in her to even do that. She could barely get like a lung full of oxygen. And so, I'm just there trying to nurse her, giving her a glass of water, got a bucket. Then my uncle calls, and like, it's just, it was just frightening. It was awful. And, I'm not judging my grandmother, but seeing the way that she lives is not how or what I want to be. I want to be a healthy, beautiful, radiant person that is aging, someone with beautiful, health, good health. And you can't get that on a cooked diet. I'm sorry. And I know this, and I knew that. And I've been having cooked food for years. Not much, even though I've, been pretty good. I'm still heavy. I have a nagging knee injury. Look at me, I'm sitting on a log. I have a nagging knee injury from dislocating my knee years ago playing tennis. I have a slight hip injury. I had a bursitis in my elbow. How can you be healthy if you've got all this happening? The Fruitarians I know, they're in flawless health. And I'm not saying they wouldn't have, their days or whatever, but they are the healthiest people I know. And I know without a shadow of doubt that I must be this in order to live, to live to my full potential. There's no other way. There is no other way, at least for me. I feel most healthiest when I'm on this diet. It is the most flawless, perfected diet that a human being should be having on this planet. For health reasons, not to mention all the ethical side of things, it is you don't have karmic debt with this lifestyle. And it just ticks all the boxes in every single way. And, I want to be that. And I have vowed to myself, last week that this is it. I will never, ever, ever go back to eating cooked food. And I am a person that can move mountains if I want to. And when I vowed to myself like that, it was so real, and it was done with such volition, and it was just, that was it. I'd seen enough, and I've experienced enough at this size. I'm at least 30 kilos overweight. I was a lot heavier. I think once I tipped at the scales at 120 kilos. I'm 5'7". That's way too much. I don't know how much I weigh now, but I'd say I'm probably under 100 kilos. I'm not actually sure where, but the fact of the matter is I've started. And can you imagine? I cut out my coffee. I never in a million years thought I could do it. And I did, just cold turkey. 3 dessert spoons of sugar in that massive big purple cup that you've probably seen in so many videos. Oh God, I cut it all out. And did I detox hard? Oh my God, I detoxed so hard. And I'm still detoxing now. But I really detoxed hard. I woke up on Thursday. And by the way, I've had so much broken sleep, not recently, but last week, like 4 days of just no sleep. I was just hot wired, just with everything accumulating. But on the Friday when I woke up, my God, I was in hard detox, and I had a migraine coming on. It was unbearable. I had to take a Panadol, and although I don't like taking pills, I couldn't function. I was at the point of vomiting, and I knew the detox would come hard with the coffee, because I've had my coffee every day, every morning, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times for years now, with sugar. So I've cut out everything. No condiments, no salt. You know how much I used to love salt. Even as a fruitarian, I love salt. I didn't think I could ever give it up. And I just hit it all hard in the same week. Oh God. And so I have to admit to you, I have been severely detoxing hard. And today is the first day that I've really felt that I just wanted to come out and have a walk. Trying to get that nice sky in there. Look at that. Like, this is the first day that I've actually felt that I've wanted to come out and walk, and I cannot tell you how good I feel coming up here and having a walk. For these last 3 days, it's been like I've been smoking cigarettes, like 50 cigarettes a day. I've had so much mucus in the back of my throat. You know, I'm a big admirer of Arnold Ehret, I think that's how you pronounce it, his work, with the mucusless diet. His books are some of the most inspiring that I've ever read in the past, and I've got them. And he absolutely endorses the fruitarian way of life to make the body a mucusless healing system. It rejuvenates itself, and he believes, and I completely believe what he says, everything can be cured. Everything. Even I read there was a testimony of someone almost going insane. They went to his sanitarium, that's what they called them back in the early 1900s, and he was cured. Someone that even had stuttering, he was cured. It's a no joke lifestyle. It is a proper commitment. You have to do it right. Even now when I'm talking, I can feel the mucus still in the back of my throat. The body is full of it, full of mucus, and mine would be. For years and years, my body says it. I am a walking example of my health. You know, heavy, overweight, fat. I'm carrying fat on me. I've got niggly injuries. Things like, look at this thing here. Where did that come from? That's only been there for the last 6 months. Other little niggly things that, must be a part of aging the typically normal way. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. And I have made the choice. And I know it can be very socially isolating. It can be very challenging, this lifestyle, because in this area, I am the only fruitarian I know. Nobody else does this. And although I've only done a week, I'm vowed. I am married to this lifestyle now. And this is a week in, I should be saying, oh, I'm having cravings and, oh, I'm missing cooked food. Are you kidding? My mind has been made up, and it's been the easiest choice to make. It may be very physically demanding on my body because now I'm detoxing hard, but eventually I am looking forward to the day when these detoxing symptoms disappear, but it's going to be a long road. So as difficult as this time has been, to move from the peace and the quiet of El Nor, it's pushed me into doing something different for my life and myself. And I want to be the way shower that I am, the best possible representation of myself. And this is encompassing of the Fruitarian way of life. I talk about living in harmony with the planet. This includes diet as well. And since I advocate this kind of life, then I need to go that next step further and eat the most flawless, natural diet known to man. And that is of the earth, from the earth, with the earth, and by the earth. It feels good. I look forward to the road ahead.